Hey, so welcome back to another video. This video is just going to be me trying Flutter for the first time. I actually never tried Flutter and it's really popular. And I actually don't know much about this kind of language. The strong type language like Dart. All of these things are kind of new to me. What I wanted to do is I wanted to move this whole application that I did for a tutorial, and I kind of make some progress right now, so let me show you. I just used the template that they provide there, like the starter template, so I actually just kind of tweaked what I needed. We have like a bunch of widgets. We have like the main widget that contains everything. That's this one. Then we have a children for that one, and we have a bunch of properties, and we can add methods. The core widget of the application is this one right here. You just pass to this text widgets. So we have a bunch of widgets that are predefined for us, so we can just use it. One of them is text one, and you just pass like parameters, so I can add some styles and some other things. So I just follow the documentation. I guess you have like better way of doing it, like having like a central place where you can have everything instead of just writing inline. And then I also added an image. And that was easy, but the hard part, at least for me, was trying to get this information from an API. I used the same API that I used for my React Native tutorial, and the fetching was kind of simple, I guess. It's really similar to JavaScript. We have this async and await keywords, and that was pretty familiar for me. But what it wasn't was that you need to store the response in an object, like a class. In JavaScript you just grab the objects and you just access the properties. I think it's also nice because you can know what to expect from an object, but you have to do it manually. So we need like this class that I made, and I kind of cheated here. I think what you would normally do is you would have like a proper representation of your response with every property, but what I did is I just grabbed what I needed and made my own class based on that. This is really nice. You have like this future builder, so it's like you have like this widget that handles asynchronous tasks. You have like every case when your request has data, and if there's an error, you can just do it right here, and by default you just show like a progress bar. I think in JavaScript you also have like libraries that can do this, but it's nice that it comes with the framework. So you just use this widget and you can handle this asynchronous. Then I just displayed that from this snapshot object, and then we can just access the properties that we need. So that was great. Actually, I enjoyed doing that. The next thing that I tried to do is grabbing the user location. So it's just not like hard-coded. Right now it's hard-coded, so I want to grab the user location. We also have like a unit converter, and we also displayed more things right here. So I will see how that turns out. Alright, so we have the location working. It was actually simpler than I thought. I just used this geolocation package from the Dart repository. I just added that with the command line. It's really similar this to the way it works with npm. I also needed to add some permissions in the Android file here. If you use Expo, you don't have to do that, but I guess that's okay. And I guess you also have to add more things to the iOS project, but because I'm just using Android, I didn't do that. One issue that I had was that I guess because I updated these, changes didn't show up right away, so I needed to like clean the packages, and I just run one command that actually removed everything, all of the packages, so I needed to reinstall everything. The way it works is that I just copied from the documentation this code, and this should take care of making sure that the service is enabled, that we ask for the permission, and everything is okay, then we just return the current position. And for make it work, I just have like a nested future builder. I had a future builder inside another future builder. I think one thing that I'm doing wrong is I'm calling directly the functions here. I think I should be using this, but this is not working for me at the moment. And the reason for that is I read that this will run every state update, so you don't want to fetch every time the state updates. I'll see if I can solve that, but otherwise, it's working at the moment. And what else? I added this parameter, which is the location, to the weather method. And one thing I didn't know is that you have like these question mark types. You can add this to the types, and I guess this is like some kind of null check, so this can be a position or it can also not be present. And you have like this kind of syntax that is like you can access nullable, and for some reason it didn't actually work here. I don't know why. Maybe it's because we already did it here. But then I just concatenate this with the URL. Okay, so it is the next day. We need to get this done, so let's continue. So I made some progress. I have the drop down that you can change the units. The thing that I did is that I added like this empty expanded widget for having this to the bottom, and if I remove that, it just go up. So I didn't know how to send this to the bottom and still have everything centered. One thing that I don't like, well, it's convenient, but I don't think it's the right way of doing it, because I am changing this status, right? So I'm changing this state. What is happening is this is being triggered again, and because of that, this fetch weather function is being called again, and that's why it's working. I guess there are a better way of doing this. It's convenient, but in case we have more state, that wouldn't be a good idea. Something that I really don't like is that I noticed that there's some kind of state thing that you can keep in the app, and the problem is that if you change the state, for example, I have this state right here that says metric value, and if I change this, for example, to a different value, like this and I hit save, the app will break and it is not clear what's happening. But what's happening is that I think it's keeping the previous state and now it's trying to map it to this new value that I changed. So everything, if I just hit refresh, now it should just work and we have the new value. So it's not really clear that what happened there, but that was what I was facing with the future, is because I have this state right here that I just created and it wasn't before in this state. And when I tried to use it right here, it was just throwing these random errors. And now we have this in like it should be. We have this in the init function, the future, so it doesn't get called every time we update the state. And also I added everything here in the fetch weather function, including the position thing, so we just have one future. It's not exactly the same. I still need to add like this border and some spacing. This part was it took me a lot of time, and well, it's kind of nice that we have like this box system. I think it's more readable, but there's a lot of tricky things. Like for example, I used this expanded component to make the height fit the container and being able to add this border. So I guess there are a bunch of things that I still don't know how to do, so I'm just trying to use what I found to make it work. And as a conclusion for this project, even though I didn't have experience, I was able to build the app. So well, the widget system is really intuitive. You just use the components that they provide, and you use everything is built in, so you just have to use what's there. So I really like that. The thing that I didn't like is I guess this kind of gets a little bit crazy with the nested widgets. You can see that we have a bunch of stuff here, and maybe it's just me that I don't know how to use it yet, so I don't know how to make it more clean. And also, well, I just copy everywhere the styles, and I didn't have like a central place. So my general impression is that I like Flutter, and I hope I can try to build more things with it. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching.